Can you talk about your professional background and what aspects of design and development are you concentrating on at the moment with the team?
Well, I was a lucky guy because I left university and got straight into a Formula One team back in 1991. And I've worked in Formula One ever since then, starting off in aerodynamics departments, spending most of my career in the aerodynamics side of Formula One teams, but eventually a few years ago graduating more to technical management roles within the teams as I've got older. The things that I'm concentrating on at the moment, well, a technical director doesn't really concentrate on the design and the detailed design choices of a car. That's something that the design team as a whole does. What a technical director does is he tries to make sure that the correct resources, so the right people are in the right posts, that they are focusing the right amount of effort on the parts of the car that will bring performance, and the technical director tries to manage risk so that he is deciding how brave to be with the project. So my area of interest at the moment is to make sure that we are doing those things.
The wind tunnel has been completely revised to improve the aero work and correlation with the results from the track. Are you pleased with what's been done?
Wind tunnels are pretty much the lifeblood of a Formula One team. It's impossible to have a competitive car without having a competitive aerodynamic package. And you get an aerodynamic package that is competitive by having good tools to work with in the aerodynamics department. So the correct computational resources and the correct wind tunnel resources. At Ferrari, we have had a few years where we haven't really had properly competitive aerodynamic resources, and the investment that's been made here at Maranello in our wind tunnel is extremely welcome. It will move us from probably having something around about 4th or 5th best equipment on the grid right up to being the best in terms of wind tunnel equipment. It gives us all the tools we need to dominate this sport properly again.
With new technical rules for 2014, the power unit will become even more important. In this case, what role will aerodynamics play?
Well, actually the last few years, the period since 2007, has been the unusual period in Formula One. That's been the period where the engine has taken a back seat in the importance to the car. Pretty much all the engines that we see on the track at the moment, they're more or less the same as one another in terms of the power that they deliver. But that's an unusual phenomenon in Formula One. For the vast majority of Formula One history, the engine has been extremely important to be one of the parts of your car that is distinguishing you from your competition. The whole period from 2000 to 2004, when we enjoyed so much success, the engine was extremely important in those years. And we're returning now to a period like that, where the engine is a proper part of the competitiveness of the car. But if we cast our mind back to, say, the 2000 period, everyone can remember how important aerodynamics were in that period, and they will stay similarly important in 2014. What's changed is that now the engine is also playing a big part in determining what is a good car and what is a bad car. But aerodynamics will remain one of the key features for the competitiveness of the car.
When you arrived at Ferrari, at what stage of development was the 2014 car? And on what areas did you concentrate on first?
Well, the 2014 project is a very substantial piece of engineering work. It's not something that you start 6 months before a new season and expect it to work. So I arrived when this project was about 2 years into a 2.5-year development period. So my role has been, as I've arrived, has been to try to immerse myself in all of the work that's been done so far, to understand the concept that has been built into this the design philosophy of this car, and to try to get myself up to speed with the rest of the design team who have put 2 years of work into the car so far. I believe I've arrived at that point now, and my role forward from here is to try to make sure that I'm making correct judgments about the level of risk we should be taking and where we should be placing our efforts for best results in the future.
There is a lot of talk about the new Formula One, which will start in 2014, in terms of efficiency and fuel consumption. What is your view on this discussion and the fact that the new rules could require a different driving style from the drivers? Is it possible to predict by which point in the season the cars will be working at their maximum?
It's certainly true that next year's rules are very different to this year's rules, and operating with 100 kilograms of fuel in a race compared with the 150 or more kilograms that it takes to go racing now will bring a very different racing environment from what we have been used to. Making efficient use of that fuel in the race will require the drivers to race differently to how they have in the past, and will bring different strategic challenges as well as different driving style challenges to the drivers. Quite how it will work out in the races is difficult to predict. We'll only know for sure once we're at the first race next year and we see how it works out fighting with all the other teams. I think your second question about when we will expect to see the new cars, performing at their maximum level, well, they'll perform at their maximum level right from the moment that the lights change at the first race of the year, and they will stay at their maximum level at every track thereafter. The difference will be, of course, that at every track we will improve the car, but from the first race to the last race, each time the car goes out, it will perform at the maximum level that it's capable of performing at that race. It's just as the year progresses, that maximum performance will progress with it.